Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Ben Bingle and I'm the director of the DeKalb County Nonprofit Partnership. And I want to thank everybody for joining us today for our first webinar titled Getting Ready for Give DeKalb County. Leading us through today's training will be Kelsey Rossbach and John Ney from Give DeKalb. Give DeKalb is our online platform partner and they're absolutely instrumental in making Give DeKalb County possible. So I want to thank them for offering this session. Before I turn it over to them, I want to remind everyone to check your eligibility prior to registering for the Giving Day. And the first immediate step that you would need to take is to renew your DCMP membership if you haven't already, or become a member for the first time. March 1st is the deadline for DCMP membership if you want to participate in the Giving Day. And that date is fast approaching, so we would encourage you to contact us to receive an invoice or to talk through membership. And of course, details are available on our website as well. So with that said, thanks again for joining us, and I'll turn it over to Kelsey and John.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ben, for the introduction. John and I are just thrilled to be a part of Give DeKalb County. We're super excited to be here, so thank you all for taking the time to join us for today's webinar. All right, so we did get one question. So I'm just going to cover some quick housekeeping items really quick. So just so everyone knows, the webinar today is recorded. It will be available on the site on the trainings page by the end of the day tomorrow. So both the webinar recording and the slides for download will be available. Everyone is currently on mute to help keep some of the background noise to a limit. And so just know that the best way to chat in, because we certainly want to hear from you and have you engaged in the webinar as we go through it, will be to use the Q&A box or the chat box as well. So either of those options is a great way to submit your questions. We will make sure that there's plenty of time at the end of the webinar to answer any questions that we receive. So we'll make sure to field those and answer all of those at the end of the webinar. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right in and get started. So today we're going to cover some of the basics. So we're going to talk a little bit about the benefits to participating. We're going to look at the 2018 results. We're also going to talk a little bit about what's new in 2019 and what's different with the Give DeKalb platform. And for many of you who have been part of Give DeKalb County, in the previous years, you don't need an introduction to Give DeKalb, but certainly for those that are new, we want to make sure that you are familiar with who we are. So we'll go over a little bit of our basics, our key features and resources. We'll also walk through the steps of registering for Give DeKalb County, and then next steps, and again, making sure that we have plenty of time to answer any questions you might have. All right, so our basics. So we will continue to use the same URL, which is www.givedekalbcounty.org, which is, you can find that. It's been redesigned with some updated photos this year, which we think is really great. The day will be on May 2nd this year from midnight to midnight, so definitely keep that in mind. And then if you have any eligibility questions, be sure to check out the nonprofit eligibility page on the site. That should really help you as a starting point, but certainly if you need to talk to someone or you're just not quite sure, or just like Ben said, you're looking to become a new member of DCMP, you can contact dcmp@dekalbbccf.org. You want to make sure that you're located in, serving, or conducting organizational activities in DeKalb County, and you're legally recognized by the IRS as a 501c3 and legally registered with the Attorney General Office. Again, there are resources that you can find to reference on that nonprofit eligibility page in case you have any questions around that. And then last but certainly not least is just making sure that you are in fact a DCNP member by March 1st, which Ben had mentioned. So there are just so many benefits to incorporating a Giving Day and Give DeKalb County into your fundraising efforts as a nonprofit. And this particular Giving Day is so unique and offers so many great opportunities for your organization. So on the platform, you're able to conduct your own unique campaign, but you're also able to get some of the big overarching marketing, which helps expand your reach and helps expand, the donors that are getting to know you. You're also able to really learn how to utilize some of the up-and-coming digital tools and modern software. So certainly, the landscape of philanthropy is continuing to change. We're continuing to see donors giving online and engaging with their nonprofits in a more online fashion. And so this is a really great way to help you get comfortable with some of the ways, and certainly helping your donors too to get to know you on an online platform. There's also so many opportunities to re-engage with some of your existing supporters, increasing your visibility, certainly connecting with a larger community. Those are all key pieces that come with the marketing of the day, and just participating again in an incredible community effort. It's always another great opportunity to utilize a giving day for something, for all of your internal goals. So when you think about how to tell your story, you think about what your campaign strategy is going to be for Give DeKalb County, you just want to make sure that you're thinking about, that it doesn't always have to be monetary. There are so many ways that you can incorporate your goals into your campaign and your story. And then certainly I think it's incredible, the bonus pool that Give DeKalb County has, making sure that, your donors are aware of that incredible, impact that they can have through that. I think that's a huge incentive for your donors to know that their dollar is going to go a little bit farther, and certainly a huge credit to DCMP for helping to secure all of those funds and making that happen and possible for the nonprofits that participate. So looking at 2018, it's always astounding. I think it's really incredible. We work with giving days across the country, but what the 91 nonprofits from last year were able to accomplish, and certainly what, the Give DeKalb County Giving Day has been accomplished over the last 5 years, is always very incredibly impressive. So raising just over $600,000 for 91 nonprofits and engaging 2,304 donors. That's really just an incredible statement to, the incredible work that all of you as nonprofits are doing in your community, and certainly the passion that those donors have of wanting to give back and wanting to connect with your nonprofits and help you achieve those goals through Give DeKalb County. All right, so I'm going to go over a little bit of what's new in the platform. So first I'm going to touch on the gift basket. So this functionality serves very similar to what you would find on an online shopping center. So maybe like Amazon or Target, where your donors are able to kind of like shop around the site, adding donations to nonprofits as they continue to browse. And then each gift is listed as a single, each gift is listed out, so the donor will certainly be able to, figure out what that looks like. And then again, another great feature is that multi-gift donations are processed as a single transaction. So I think there were a couple donors last year through Give DeKalb County, because a lot of your donors give through the multi-give transaction. They like to be able to support multiple organizations across the platform. Is that they ran into an issue when their credit card was processed multiple times, almost instantaneously. They got a little bit of trouble from their credit card company, declining those charges, being worried that they were fraudulent. And so we've done a lot of work in the last year, and we now run those multi-give transactions as a single transaction to help cut back on that. We've gotten a lot of great feedback, and certainly we're seeing a significant amount of donors that are not seeing any concerns from their credit cards. We also have the options now for an ACH donation, which I think is really incredible. And then we have some new questions as well that are on the donation form that can really help you as a nonprofit when you're thinking about your communication and your strategy to your donors that are supporting you through Give DeKalb County. And that includes a new donor question, as well as an in memory or in honor of, in which the donor can notify notify that individual or family through email. We also have an updated social share bundle and an updated peer-to-peer toolkit. All right, so looking at transparent pricing, we always want to make sure that we go through all of this. So the platform fee is 2.25%. There is no registration or subscription required to participate, so I think that's really important, is that there's no upfront cost to that. And then there is a 2.2% credit card fee plus 30 cents per transaction if donors choose to give via credit card instead of ACH. And the cost for that is 4.2% plus 30 cents. And so, we traditionally across all of our giving stays see around 65 to 75% of donors cover fees. But in 2018 for Give DeKalb County, we actually saw 72% of donors covering those fees on behalf of nonprofits so that 100% of that donation could go to those organizations. So I'm also going to go over the participation fee. So this is for the DCNP membership cost. So, this is on the FAQs as well, and certainly you can contact the foundation as well if you have any specific questions. But the fee will be deducted from total donations received. Again, there's no upfront cost to participate. And then the fees do cover some of the associated, the costs associated with the giving day. And I think it's incredible to note that, this is the third year that this fee hasn't increased. So, that's just really, really incredible to talk to speak to the community foundation and the supporters of the day that have been able to help with that. So a little bit about GiveGab. So GiveGab is a modern, easy-to-use software that cultivates long-term giving relationships between nonprofits and their supporters by providing a robust online fundraising, donor management, support, and engagement system. So we have a number of different tools and resources that are at your fingertips, not only for the giving day, but also outside of that if you are interested in fundraising year-round. But again, a lot of these tools and resources will be at your fingertips for you to be able to use to help you have a successful giving day. So going through and addressing the, I was like, I think I accidentally clicked forward too fast. Sorry about that. So again, I just want to kind of go over some quick things about GiveGab. So, we are a safe, secure, reliable platform for both your nonprofits and donors. And I think that's a key piece to highlight in this day and age when there's a lot of questions about, where is my data going? Who's getting my information? Especially as they're giving donations online, sometimes it can feel like, they're unsure of who's collecting their credit card information and who's going to do that and what's going to happen with it. Another nice piece of reassurance to you is that we build the platform to be mobile responsive on every page. So we're continuing to see that donors are giving, anywhere from 30 to 50% of the time for a giving day through a mobile device. So we really want to make sure that we're reaching your donors in a, very fashionable way, regardless of how they're reaching your donation page. Again, that seamless transaction and donation processing is something that we've worked on a lot, especially with the multi-give feature in the last year. And then that immediate thank you message to your donors. We'll make sure to touch on that as well. And then our accessible support team being readily available. So if there are those of you that might be new to Give DeKalb County or new to your organization and participating in the day, our support team is really a key asset to the platform that we're able to offer to not only you as a nonprofit, but to your donors and supporters as well. So we partner with Stripe, who's a PCI Level 1 payment processor. So they handle all of our payment processing. They are one of the most stringent payment processors on the market. So we've had a great relationship with them, and certainly I think that helps build that security and reliability for your donors when they ask about giving online. We also help with the verification, making sure that all participating organizations are verified by the IRS and state-recognized nonprofits. And then again, we offer a fail-safe redundancy plan for Give DeKalb County. So our development team does quite a bit of load testing. We have cloud services and backup plans, and we work with the foundation to make sure that we have a backup plan upon backup plan. So if anything were to happen, that we know how we're going to handle it, and we can handle it smoothly and communicate it effectively. I'm proud to say that the GiveGab platform has 100% uptime, so we really don't anticipate that being something we need to address, but certainly having a plan in place is better than not having one. So we are really excited to know that that's always going to be the case. So this building donor trust one, I just want to note, and for those of you that have already participated in Give DeKalb County are already familiar with this, but you know that the only box that you need to check is the state charitable solicitation compliance. And that just states, that you do attest to the fact that you are fundraising in the states or states in which you are fundraising. The other information is optional, so it's really only needed for you to complete if you were to, if you are interested in fundraising on the GiveGab platform year-round, but know that these two sections above are not ones that you'll need to worry about. Again, so that's simple donation processing. So we offer, credit card processing for all major credit cards, and they're all securely processed through Stripe. And again, with Give DeKalb County, we've continued to see donors covering, upwards of 70% of those giving day fees on behalf of the organization. And this just kind of shows you what that multi-give form looks like, again, through the gift basket, really making it super easy for your donors to be able to support multiple organizations that they're passionate about. And again, those new donor those questions that have been added to the donation form are all connected to the specific organization that they're donating to. So none of them are getting, so that way, I can check off that I'm a new organization to the Orca Conservancy, but maybe not to Double Dog Dare Rescue. So I think a key piece to talk about, especially with the new multi-give form, is that instantaneous donor delight. So if a donor were to give to a single organization, they will receive that customizable thank you email. So you can add your own text, your photo, or a video, and John will make sure to talk about that as well as he's walking through your profile. And it is sent immediately after the gift is made. One thing to keep in mind is that, if a donor gives to multiple organizations, to simplify that receipt and that thank you message, the donation or the thank you receipt that they will receive will just come from the foundation. So it will still outline their multiple donations to the organizations, but the actual thank you will only come from the giving day. So I do want to just encourage you to make sure that you reach out to your donors and supporters separately, thanking your supporters through social media, thanking them individually. And certainly, it doesn't have to happen on the day or even immediately after. Updating your donors on what you're able to do with those donations and the impact that it had in your community, even if it's 2 or 3 months after the day, is a really, really great way to steward those donors and help them understand the impact that they had and how they were a part of your nonprofit story. So again, just highlighting that easy and accessible. I think one of the biggest things that we highlight is that we're seeing quite a bit of traffic. Anywhere from 50 to 80% of donors are entering and viewing the site on a mobile device. Most of them will choose to actually make their donation via a desktop or tablet, but regardless, they're coming and they're learning about your story, whether it's they're checking their email on the go or they're, clicking a link through Facebook while they're scrolling through their Facebook. So making sure that your story and your profile and the Give DeKalb County platform in general is very easy for donors to be able to access and navigate is super important to the GiveGab team. And again, I can't emphasize enough how incredibly important the support team is. So we have, you can visit our help center at support.givegab.com, but you can also send us an email at customersuccess@givegab.com. I always tell people I think the best way to reach out to our customer success team is through that little blue chat bubble. So some of the key things that that little blue chat bubble can do just to help make your experience easier as well is to make sure that it pulls in. So if you're logged into your GiveGab account, it will pull in, if you're connected to an organization, if you're an admin for that organization, and it will also pull in the last page that you were looking at. So it helps give our customer success team a little bit more context as to what you might be reaching out about. And again, there are so many platform opportunities for your organization to be able to utilize. So, the enhanced profile customization is a huge piece. There are so many peer-to-peer fundraising tools. We have automatic matching gift features as well as easy social sharing. We are able to recognize cash and check gifts, and I know that's a huge part of the Give DeKalb County is going to the foundation on the day, encouraging your donors to make their donation offline that way. And then again, that instant access to your donor data and the breakdown in which, who covered fees, how much of the donation did you receive. All of that is really, really important. So just know that there's so many opportunities to be able to use the Give DeKalb platform, but certainly think about what works best for your organization, and really just thinking about, what tools and resources are going to help you best achieve the goals that you're looking to accomplish. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to John now, who's going to walk you through registering for Give DeKalb County.
Thank you, Kelsey. So it's pretty easy to get registered for Give DeKalb County. You'll want to just go over to www.givedekalbcounty.org/register, and you'll see this screen right here with the big red register button in the middle. You go ahead and click that, and you'll be taken to the next page, which should be a search page. You can go ahead and search for your organization, and if you've participated last year, or if you already have an organization profile on Give DeKalb, it should appear, and you can just click participate next to your name. If it doesn't appear, no worries. You'll see at the bottom of the screen, there's another button that says add my organization. You go ahead and click that. You'll be brought to this next page, which just asks for some pretty simple information about your organization, such as your name, a logo, your address, city, state, and etc. Below that, you'll also see that we're asking for your first name, last name, email address, and a password. You enter that information in so that it creates an account for you, and you can come back to this later in case you need to leave. Once you hit continue, you'll be taken to the registration survey, which is pretty short, but it has a lot of necessary information, such as your budget size and some other things. You'll see it's kind of hard to see on your screen, but the last bullet point is a reminder that you need to be a member of the DCNP if you want to be registered for Give DeKalb County. This needs to happen by March 1st, or your registration will go away. So enough talking about the registration. I'm going to move on to what your profile actually is, how to work with it, and what it'll look like once you're all done. So right here, we have the next page that you'll be taken to after you click register. You'll see that there's 6 options that we can go through. Add your organization's information, add your story, get verified to collect donations, add donation levels, add a thank you message, and add fundraisers. We'll be going over each of them in depth, except for get verified to collect donations. And this is what it'll look like once you've actually entered in some information. You'll see that the blue boxes to the left have changed into green check boxes. That tells you that you're good to go. So jumping straight into it, we have add your organization's information. There's 4 main things that we need to look at here, which is the logo, the tagline, the website, and some causes. The logo is pretty self-explanatory. It's just the profile picture for your organization. The tagline is just going to be a small blurb about your organization or whatever you're fundraising for. The website, that's also pretty self-explanatory. It's a website. If you have one, you can add it. If you don't worry about it. The causes, and you can select up to 3 causes that were selected by the IRS to help your donors locate your organization. The next page would be all about telling your story, which is probably the most important part of your profile editor. There's 3 main things that we want to look at here, which is your cover photo, your goal, and your story itself. The cover photo will be the first thing that your donors will see, and it'll be at the very top of your screen. Below that and to the right will be your goal. The goal is completely optional. However, we do find that organizations that have a specific goal do tend to raise more in the end. Finally, below all of this is going to be your story itself. Here's where you'll tell your donors how they can impact your organization, what you're doing, how you're doing it, and create a bond with your donors. The next part, we have adding a donation level. These things can be pretty interesting. You can choose to customize them a lot, or you can just choose to add some really basic levels. So you see here that there's a couple levels laid out, a $25, a $50, and a $100 level. These different levels do different things. So for example, some of the things that you could do with this is, say my organization was founded in 1957 and we just help older dogs. So I'm going to have a donation level for $19.57 as a keepsake. And then my next donation level will be a, let's say $25 donation level, and it'll say it'll buy 2 bags of feed for my dogs. My next one will be $50, which will provide a bed for one of my dogs. Something like that. It helps new donors figure out what their money will do for your organization. It tells a story all on its own. It's pretty cool. For the next one, we have the thank you message that Kelsey was talking about earlier. Here, you can choose to write your own custom thank you message, and you can choose to add either a photo or a video. If you add both, only the video will appear. These thank you messages will get sent out immediately after a donor gives to your organization, but it's important to know that if a donor gives to more than one organization, they'll only receive a thank you message from the DCNP, which is why we ask that you probably want to reach out to your donors afterwards, just to do a little bit of donor stewardship. And lastly, but certainly not least, is the peer-to-peer functionality. This is completely optional, but we heavily recommend it because we find that organizations that have fundraisers will generally raise about 3.4 times more than organizations without fundraisers. Now, I could go on and on about this, but we'll probably have another training later in the future that'll go a little bit more in depth about this. But you can think of it as if you have supporters or board members or volunteers that want to raise money for your organization on your organization's behalf, they can do so through here. They can reach out to their inner circles of friends, families, and colleagues to try and see if they can't donate to the organization for them. Here's what a peer-to-peer fundraiser profile would look like once it's actually set up. And going on, now that we've covered everything, you'll see that you can also view your page on the bottom right-hand corner, or you can share it to Twitter or Facebook. And lastly, this is what the page will look like once you have everything filled out. You'll see the cover photo at the top, the logo in the top left, the name, the tagline, a goal, some donation levels, your story, a match, more on that later, and your fundraising champions. And in regards to Give DeKalb County, you'll also want to try and swing by the nonprofit toolkit. This is going to be your one-stop shop for any kind of questions or concerns that you may have about the day. Here you'll find some customizable templates that you can send to your donors, or you can find a communication timeline that lets you know the important dates that are coming up. You can also find some downloadable graphics that you can share to your social media, as well as some helpful resources for your board members, volunteers, fundraisers, and more. And so now I'm going to go ahead and give it on back to Kelsey as she talks about the next steps that you want to take for Give DeKalb County.
Awesome. Thank you so much, John. So yeah, so for next steps, just as Ben had mentioned in the very beginning, you do want to make sure that you become a 2019 DCNP member by March 1st. That's a really key and important date to remember and to mark on your calendars. You also want to make sure that if you haven't done so already, to register for the Give DeKalb County by March 31st. And certainly start following Give DeKalb County on social media and use that hashtag. That'll be a key part of the day. So when we talk about increasing your visibility, not only to new donors, but just in general in your community, using that hashtag will allow you to kind of be brought into that movement. Allowing people that maybe aren't already following you on social media to see your posts, learn about your organization. Also, be sure to make sure that you're watching your inbox for important emails. It's really important that you're keeping an eye on that. There's so many communications that'll be coming out from both the foundation and GiveGap that'll help you with getting everything set up and getting you all ready for your giving day. And then certainly don't forget to sign up for upcoming training sessions. So I just want to let you know, as I'm sure many of you already know, that there will be an in-person training in early March. So those training sessions are, on the website and able for you to start registering now. They're really, really great opportunities. In specific, there's an office hours where you're actually able to sit down with a project manager. So it'll be myself and my colleague Alana that'll be coming to DeKalb to sit down with nonprofits and really talk through. For a half hour, you're able to ask us any questions you have. We're able to help you kind of set it up. And then there are also two really great other trainings and many other trainings that are going to be happening through that. So just another key piece is that the emails that you'll be getting will be sent to administrators. So you should think about who is the admin on your organization. So I'm just going to go back a couple slides and show you another key piece on your profile. So on here, you are also able to easily add an administrator. So I think it's really great to, again, think about who's an admin. So anyone that might be getting those communications, you want to make sure that they are added as an administrator. As an administrator, they're able to make edits to the profile, help contribute, help add peer-to-peer fundraisers. So if maybe you're going to be engaging your board that way, it's just a really great way to make sure that they're including all of those communications. Perfect. And then again, make sure to check out that nonprofit toolkit. Year over year, we have nonprofits telling us how many resources there are. And again, really think about what's best for your organization and what strategy you have. So I think one of the biggest things that I try to emphasize is that the Give DeKalb platform has, a ton of bells and whistles for nonprofits of all sizes, all capacities, but certainly think about what works best for you. And if you have any questions about those resources or you have suggestions for our team, don't hesitate to let us know. The other nice part about the toolkit is that those resources are not just there for you as a nonprofit. We also have resources that are specific for your board. So, if you're looking to get your board engaged, we do have resources that you can send to your board that are geared towards board members. Same thing with peer-to-peer fundraisers. So if you have someone that has expressed interest in becoming a peer-to-peer fundraiser, great examples of that might be, some of your younger supporters, volunteers, some of those lower capacity donors, or even some of those donors that have already given or given another time, but want to share your story. So when you think about that, you just want to think about the fact that these organizations, that these individuals that want to share your story are going to help spread the word and help spread the knowledge of the great work that you're doing in your community. Right, and so looking at those training opportunities, so February 27th is the Science of Fundraising. On March 6th, there is the What's New and Amplifying Your Giving Day profile. And then again, that office hours, those one-on-one sessions with Give DeKalb, again, we're there to answer any and all questions that you might have. It's a really, really great opportunity for us to sit down and really show you some of the different ways that you're able to utilize the platform, and certainly just, help you make sure that you're taking, using the platform to your fullest advantage. And then on March 7th, we have the engagement, stewardship, and storytelling presentation. On March 21st, we have Making the Ask, Best Practices, Trends, and Tools for Success. And then certainly last but not least, then April 10th, we have our final steps to success for Give DeKalb County. So all great training opportunities. I highly encourage you to take a look at those and sign up for those, and get your staff and your supporters that are going to be helping you with your campaign get all set up. All right, so if anyone has any questions, I would encourage you to submit those through the Q&A box or through the chat box if there's anything at all that you have. In the meantime, I just remind everyone that we have recorded today's webinar, so we will be sure that this is up on the site as soon as possible so that you can share it with anyone else in your organization or supporters that might benefit from participating or hearing this or viewing the slides. We did have a question pop in. So where will the recording be posted again? That's actually a really great question. So I'm going to go ahead and pop quick over to the site. So as you can see, this is the landing page for Give DeKalb County, and this is that register button that Ben mentioned. And so where you'll want to make sure to, John mentioned, is where you'll want to go to is the training. So up in the top right-hand corner, you have this menu button, and this is where you can find that nonprofit eligibility page that I had mentioned, the trainings, and then a direct link to those new downloads. So on the trainings, you can see some of the in-person trainings with register buttons, and then also the live webinars. So what you'll see is that this register button will change. It will turn into a view slides button as well as a watch the webinar button. So this is where you'll be able to find both of those. And certainly, again, there will be links for you to be able to share them so you can send those links directly to anyone else in your organization that might be interested in watching it. Yeah, so I'd also really love to be able to show you the bottom of the page, so where we're highlighting some of the community sponsors. Let me just navigate back here. Awesome. Okay. So, a really great way too to make sure that you're getting, that you're part of the community and maybe being able to spread your word is giving us shout outs to some of those sponsors, both community partners as well as media sponsors that are really helping to, again, share the awareness with the donors and the communities surrounding it in Give DeKalb County. So there's so many, and it's just incredible to see such support around a giving day. So many individuals and businesses. So again, definitely don't hesitate to do a shout out on social media or in your emails to these organizations. They're a key piece to helping to make sure that this is possible. And again, that bonus pool piece of Give DeKalb County is such a huge incentive for you and your donors to help make sure their dollar goes a long way. And certainly these individuals and these media sponsors are a key piece to helping making that happen. All right, wonderful. I'm not seeing any other questions, but I know we're running a little ahead of time, so I'm gonna quick pop over to the downloads as well and just highlight some of the new social shares that we have. So we do have some updated cover photos as well as logos that have, a number of different ways that you can use them, both vertical and horizontal. The social shares, but then also these social bundles here, you are able to share them out. It's a great way to really make sure that your social media, I think that, I forget the exact percentage, but I think on Twitter, it's like 150% times more likely that your social media post will get shared, and then all of that. And then so just making sure that that all of this is here for you to be able to utilize and share out. Another key piece to really think about, so I can demo the gift basket as well. So if I'm a donor and I stumble across this page before, donations are open and before that looks like, let's say I want to go to the DC Foundation and make a donation. So what I can do is I can click this donate button. And what it'll do is it will remind me to come back, that we haven't quite started the time for giving and to please come back on May 2nd. And that's very similar, but it does show you here that the gift basket will keep them up as they're happening. Just know that it doesn't save it. So unlike an Amazon basket where if you shop today and go back in a week, everything will still remain in your shopping cart. They will disappear once the cache is cleared on the site. But yeah, if they're on the day and they're shopping around or they're looking at multiple organizations, they are able to quickly add all of those into their gift basket and check out with that multi-gift feature. All right. Wonderful. Well, again, I just want to thank everyone for spending your afternoon with us and sharing this time with us and getting to know the Give Gab team. And certainly a huge thank you to Ben and Mark for introducing us and certainly hosting this incredible day. I just want to again highlight the little blue chat bubble in the corner here. So just a reminder that this is a huge resource for you, your donors, and your supporters to be able to reach out to our customer success team for any questions you might have. They can be tech related, but they can also be strategy related. Again, we work with nonprofits across the country, so we do try to, make sure that you have all the best practices at your fingertips. And so here's a quick demo. Register. Can you help me out? So as you can see, once you type in, it'll let you know, whether or not it's been seen. And then as someone starts to type back to you, it will, do the little dots, very similar to what you might see on an iPhone. And you'll get, a response. We do try to make sure that we respond as quickly as possible. If you walk away from the site, just know that the response will go to your email. So I'm going to let John talk about this, since he is one of those incredible people behind the little blue chat bubble.
For sure. If you chat in on givedekalbcounty.org, you will actually be talking in as an anonymous user. So you'll need to make sure that you're actually providing your name and your email so that we can follow up with you in case we don't get to you or in case you need to leave early.
Yeah, and another key piece, oh, sorry, John, I didn't mean to download our conversation. But another key piece to remember too that's helpful is that the login is in the menu as well. So before you chat in or while you're chatting in, don't hesitate to use this login button. For one, it'll bring you directly to your dashboard where you want to make edits. So that's a great way to make sure that you're always making edits to your Give DeKalb County profile. But it's also really helpful to make sure that if you're logged in, like John said, if you're logged in, it will pull in your information. If I write in without being logged in, I'll be an anonymous user. So that'll just help make that seamless transition for you and that follow-up a little bit easier. All right, wonderful. Well, thank you all again. The recording will be posted before the end of the day tomorrow, along with slides. And certainly, if you have any other questions that come up that you think of, don't hesitate to reach out to our customer success team through that little blue chat bubble. And Ben and Mark, I didn't know if there was anything else you wanted to add. Okay. All right. Wonderful. Well, thank you all, everyone, for participating today, and we look forward to being a part of Give DeKalb County.